Because I'm the kind of person that, I mean, as with everybody else in this generation, you want everything done yesterday. It's like, let's hurry up and get it done. It's like, but it does not work with this. You've got to do it slowly, because, like, as we were talking before, when you get to the end of it, if it's not right, you've got to tear it all down and start all over again. There was no way I was even thinking about that. I mean, with the time is one thing, but the money that it took to do this is just like, I would have been on the soup line after this. It was enormously expensive to do.
That's just as well you had your own studio, really.
Well, that's what I did, is I built the studio before I did that, because everybody said, okay, what took so long to do this? All right, the last tour, the Headless Children tour, ended in September of '89. I went to Mexico for about 2 weeks and just laid around and contemplated my life and what I was going to do. And I said, okay, I'm going to build a studio, which I eventually ended up being called Fort Apache. Now, one thing that I did not take in consideration is that you can record in studios till you're blue in the face all over the world, but until you build one, you have no idea what's involved. I mean, it's like there's a lot of legwork that has to be done. It took 9 months to build the studio. I figured it'd take 2 months. So I'm off the mark there. Then I get into the storyline, and the story took a year to write. So I'm writing the story while the studio is being built. Now, in the meantime, I'm writing music, but like I said before, I don't know where the music's going to go, because the story's not finished yet. So it's just, I mean, it's tough. It's really complicated. And if I would have known what I know now, I put myself on a 3-year kamikaze course to do it, but I can tell you,
well, basically every single aspect of this album has been like a tremendous learning process for you, hasn't it?
Nothing that I did on this record was like anything I had ever done before. And one thing I will say is that if I do another record like this, which I probably will in the future, that I've got some of the formula down of how you have to go about it. But it's like, turning somebody loose, in the desert and say, find your way without a road map. It's like, okay, where do I start? And you start calling on every ounce of experience that you've ever garnered or accumulated, and it's tough.
And the moral of the story is, be careful what you wish for. Does that in any way apply to your own life?
Well, yeah, because like so many times, we think we want things and we don't, we finally get it and we go, well, this is what I thought it was going to be, which is this boy's quest is like, he's like standing at the foot of the mountain and he's miserable. He hates his life, hates his parents, hates everything, But he's looking up the mountain, he's thinking to himself, well, if I get up there, I'll be all right, Well, he struggles and he finally gets there. The one thing he doesn't plan on is that once he gets there, he's still miserable. And in reality, he was better off when he was down at the foot of the mountain, because he was miserable there too, but at least he had somewhere to go. Now he's on top and he's still in trouble, and there's only one way out for him.
Which best to listen to the album and find out. And very quickly, would you like to be able to perform this album in its entirety, rather like Queensryche did with Operation Mindcrime, with all the visuals and stuff?
We will do. We've already shot the story in movie form with all 9 characters in it, so they will see that when we perform it live. When we come back to start our own proper tour, which starts at the end of September here in Europe, we will do the record in its entirety from beginning to end.
Brilliant. Oh, well, I shall really look forward to that. Okay, well, thank you very much for taking time out to talk to me. It's so interesting. I've got 10 more questions, but we are running out of time. We've got Slayer coming up for you on the Headbangers Ball, but right now we are going to see more of Wasp's absolutely blistering live performance here at Donnington. Check this out.
You just got to be. We're the
Yes, the Headbangers Ball is rocking backstage at the Donnington Monsters of Rock, and a little earlier there you just saw Wasp. We are moving up the bill, all 6 bands featured, and now it's time to meet Slayer. And I'm joined by Kerry and Tom, and it's very nice to welcome you back to the Headbangers Ball.
Well, thank you very much.
Now, you look as if you've got the right... This is a guide to what you should wear at Donnington when it rains. As you can see, Kerry is sporting the latest attire to keep him warm at Donnington, and it wasn't very good conditions for you on stage. How did you cope with that?
It was great for us. It didn't rain until the last song.
So you had a good time?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah? There you go. Okay, it was great. Now, we thought that you guys were having some time off. You deserved a long holiday, so how come you ended up playing at Donnington?
That's why, because Donnington.
Mm-hmm.
We were offered Donnington, so we came out of retirement for the year to do Donnington and a few other gigs just to warm up for Donnington. You know, we did 4 in the States, and we did Mannheim, the Super Rock show in Mannheim, and Poland, Czechoslovakia, and then this.
Yes. Okay.
This was awesome.
It was. I can vouch for that. Now, we have been celebrating a decade of aggression with Slayer. Now, do you see this as closing that decade or kicking off the next 10 years?
Is closing a 10-year?
Yeah? Or start kicking off the next 10 years? Or both, maybe?
Neither. It's just something we did. You know, we put a live record out. It wasn't closing a chapter, starting a new one, or anything. I mean, we just chose time to put a live record out. And that's it. Say something.
Hi.
Now, I have to point out that you had a new drummer on stage with you, Paul Bostoff, who used to be in Forbidden, I believe. Now, were you pleased with the way Paul performed today? He's like a real powerhouse, isn't he?
The whole Castle Donington show was completely awesome. Everything sounded great. Paul was awesome. Tom sang great. Me and Jeff were, did our stuff. It was, everything clicked. The crowd was into it, and we just ruled the stage. It was great.
Did you feel a responsibility, because you guys are the most extreme band to ever appear at Donington in its 12-year history?
No.
Did you feel like a responsibility to show that you could make it work at a big festival like this?
I think we did. Yeah, we came across very well.
What was that kind of sound?
They're giving me the giggles. Look, I think we've been talking about it, and I think the best thing is for you to see it. We are going to see Slayer live on stage